Welcome to a special episode of the G5 Hive. And boy, do we have something exciting for you all today. We have a very special guest joining us. As a sophomore in high school, he was named the District 14 6A Offensive Newcomer of the Year. As a junior, he was a first-team All-District selection. And as a senior, he was named to the 2020 Touchdown Club of Houston preseason team. He was an SI All-American candidate. He had 50 catches for 779 yards and 12 touchdowns, which helped lead Bridgeland to a 12-1 record and an appearance in the regional round of the 6A Division II playoffs. He was a three-star recruit at wide receiver coming out of high school. He spent 2 years at SMU before transferring to Colorado State. He was tabbed Kevin Lytle's Offensive Breakout Player of the Year for the Rams here in 2024. He is 6 foot even, 210 pounds. He wears number 5 for the Colorado State Rams. He is Dylan Goffney. Welcome to the show, Dylan.
Thanks for having me.
Well, you guys playing. You got football coming up here real soon. Who started you getting you interested in football? Who introduced you to it?
I would say my dad and my brother. I got an older brother, just about 4 or 5 years older than me. That's kind of how it always goes, older sibling or a parent. But those two, brother started playing. Watching him grow up, wanted to be just like a brother growing up. Still did to this day. And then dad was just there to tag along, help out with whatever my brother couldn't do. My dad was there, so it was just those two growing up around the house, being competitive. Anything my brother did, I always tried to beat him at. And once football started, it was just trying to beat him at everything in football.
Did you play any other sports growing up, or was it only football?
Yeah. I dabbled a little bit in baseball and basketball. Basketball's cool. That was my dad's sport. I kind of stayed away from basketball because I didn't want him being too hard on me, honestly. But baseball was cool. My dad let me play baseball because I'm left-handed, so that's why he was like, maybe you can pitch. Couldn't do that too well, though. I remember one year I was hitting too many guys. He's like, yeah, I don't know about baseball. It's cool.
Awesome. What was it like playing high school in the state of Texas and even 6A Texas football, like the highest division there is?
It was for me. It was normal, but from what I've heard, it's like a big deal. But like, it was cool. Just football's always been a prominent part of my life, so I've kind of just grew up in it too. And my brother did it first for me, so I kind of had an idea of what it was going to be like, what to look forward to, from lifting weights to practices to even we were watching film in high school too. So I would say it's kind of like college atmosphere. It's just a little bit smaller, I would say, but it's just as serious as any other football on all levels.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to some other guys from Texas, and it seems like playing that high level in Texas really kind of helps prepare you better for college than maybe high levels in some other states.
Yeah, no, for me, like in high school, I remember going to practice, and we had to do the practice like here at SMU. Practice was just how it was in high school. Lifting weights was just exactly the same as like I'll tell my team, it's like I've been doing this for almost 7 years because of high school. From my freshman year of high school all the way till now, I've been doing the same thing for year in and year out. So that's kind of how Texas football is.
What was your college recruiting experience like? During COVID, what was that like for you?
So I got a crazy story. So for me, like recruiting was good my sophomore year going into that junior year. And then as junior season ended, that's when, recruiting's supposed to start picking up. Coaches come out for spring ball. So that week before the whole country shut down, I was taking visits. I had visited Arizona, and then I went to Cal. Like me and my family made that road trip. So that was pretty cool. But then as kind of COVID kind of slowed things down, recruiting kind of slowed down. I was still talking to the schools that had already offered me, but it was kind of hard for the schools that hadn't seen me yet to come out because of COVID. So it kind of just slowed down a little bit and helped me decide where I was trying to go to school.
So, having gone from Texas 6A Division II high school football to SMU and now to Colorado State, what's that journey been like for you?
It's been a quick journey, because time goes by fast once you enter college. I know people say it a lot, but it's true. Like freshman year feels like just a few days ago. Like I blink and it's like, man, where am I going to be next? But it was a great journey. I've learned a lot as a player and as a person of who I want to be and who I've become. It's been a great journey overall.
So having gone through the recruiting process a couple times, what things did you do differently the second time versus the first time?
The main thing was really, leaving Texas. That was like a big deal for me because, that was one of the reasons coming out of high school. I wanted to kind of stay close to home where I'm from in Cypress, Texas, right outside of Houston. Didn't want to be too close. but I wanted to be like a few hours away. So that's how I ended up at SMU. But then once I entered the portal, I was like, I got to do what's best for me and putting me in that position to be the best receiver that I can be and hopefully take my game to the next level and play at the next level. And that was one of the main things. So wherever I went, no matter if it was up north, cold, or Colorado and stuff like that, it was just I'm going to do what I need to do.
What advice would you give an aspiring high school player about the recruiting process?
It can be a tough one, whether you're getting a lot of attention or not. It's kind of more just staying grounded, staying true to who you are. Basically just keep working, because it doesn't stop at just getting college offers and stuff like that. Because once you go to school, it's kind of starting all over again. You're a freshman, so you got to just make sure you're prepared through it all. And, I mean, sometimes you're not, but at least have an idea of what you're going to get yourself into.
So you touched on it a little bit, but what ultimately led you to choose Colorado State, and what did you like about it so much to decide to go there to further your football career and education?
So when I came on my visit, I was I was here for like I think a weekend, and every day that I was doing something like with receiver coach Chad Savage, he was a cool guy, great guy, real chill, younger guy. So, kind of feel like we can mesh together, young guys together instead of having an older coach. Nothing wrong with those guys, because I had Rob Blackens, and he's a great receiver coach too as well. So I had an older coach and a younger coach. But also what stood out to me was Coach Norvell was there every step of the way. When I went to lunch, he was there. When I was at breakfast, he was there. Dinner, he was there. He was there every day for me, and I kind of stood out. And plus, he likes to pass the ball. Torrey had just had 1,000-yard season, so that stood out to me too. And I was like, well, if Torrey's the only one, maybe if I come in, help, we mesh together, take some pressure off of him, and then give me some open looks and maybe make a name for myself here, I could do that. And so that's kind of what helped come here to Colorado in the air raid with Coach Mummy and everything like that.
Now, being in Colorado, is it the first time like you've experienced snow, or as a kid? Yeah.
Well, I would say like real snow, because like Dallas and Houston, Texas, like it'll snow maybe every 5 to 8 years, and it's not, it's just ice. Like everything freezes over, and all of Texas panics and acts like they don't know what's going on. So coming up like at SMU, it's snowed, it froze over for like 2 days, and class was canceled. I got up here and it snowed, and they were like, "Oh no, you still got everything going on." So it was just a change of scenery. And one thing too is I always, now when it snows, like I wear double socks because my toes get cold and stuff like that, and gloves. But it's been an adjustment with the weather and everything, but I feel like I'm starting to get used to it.
So this season, you're switching from number 6 to number 5. What can you tell us about that switch?
So basically, it's just always been a number that I liked. I wore it when I was in 3rd grade and kind of just carried on from there. And then high school, I had the chance to pick my number again, and I was like, number 5 is it. That's always been me. And then when I got to SMU, there was an older guy that had it, Danny Gray, which is cool. So then I had to go to number 10 because I liked that. 10 was a great number because I was born on the 10th, so that's cool. And then I got here, 5 was taken by Dallin, which is fine. And then once Dallin declared for the draft, I mean, like maybe not even 5 hours, I texted the equipment manager and coach. I was like, I want to change my number back to 5 because I just feel like, that's me. That's who I am.
That's pretty cool. From a college football fan's perspective and an outsider, if you will, the SMU and the Colorado State offensive systems look like they would be fun systems for a wide receiver. As a wide receiver who's been in both, how would you say they're similar, and how would you say they're different?
I mean, there's a lot of similarities and not a lot of differences, really. Formation wise, they're pretty similar and stuff. It's kind of just like the base stuff are the same, and then it depends on the coaches around and what they want to change and add their own little twist to and stuff like that. So that's really where the differences happen. But I wouldn't say one's better than the other, or one's less than the other. They're both great playbooks, and I feel like it's just whoever your coach is and whatever they like to do the more is what you're going to see out of each playbook.
Yeah, they both seem like, just from my untrained eye perspective, like it'd be just really cool to be a receiver. They seem to throw the ball around a lot, and just, as a wide receiver, I would think that'd be super attractive. If you could pick 2 wide receivers to train with, learn from, watch film with, etc., who would you pick and why?
So the first one have to be Devontae Adams, and that's just because that guy there, from releases to routes to hands to knowledge of the game, I feel like he's got it all. He's been a top receiver in the league for a while now, and even after leaving Aaron Rodgers, he still showed that he was a dominant receiver. So that's always going to be number 1. And then I would probably say right now, a young guy who just got a big contract is St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I've been watching him since I was in high school, and he was in high school like his senior year. So I've kept up with him through his whole journey from USC and all that. So I just pick his brain, I like the receivers, that aren't the 4.3s, 4.4 guys, or aren't 6'5" jump ball guys. I like the guys who know what they have and know how to work with what they got, whether it's 4 or 5 speed or they're not as tall, but they have quickness, just like me. I'm not the tallest or fastest guy, but I have stuff to me that can make me a great receiver, just how they've been using it too.
Yeah, it seems like the NFL is kind of moving more towards the smaller receivers, not necessarily the jump ball type guys. And Amon's a great one, right? I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves for what he does as a receiver in the NFL. He's kind of overlooked, but man, he goes out there and produces every week.
Yeah, no, I love watching him, and from like high school, watching his routes and stuff, he really had he gave me a way to play football kind of at the receiver position, just watching him, because I would look up YouTube videos of him working out, him playing games and stuff like that. And then after watching the receiver show, that really was just like, man, I'll still watch his highlights every once in a while just to see what I can pick up off of his game so I can put it into mine to see if it works.
So when you're studying film and watching those other receivers, what are the things you're paying the most attention to?
For me, it's more like since I'm a slot receiver, I like to see what they're doing in the slot, how they're getting off press, how they're going against catch technique when the DB's 5 yards off and they're flat-footed, how are they working around it so they don't get hands-on, and just being able, and how they sit in the zones, really just route running and everything like that. Just main thing is always seeing how they counteract with DBs. When the DB does this move, what do they do to counter it and just, get open?
So when you're studying in film and watching the defensive backs, what things are you looking for?
I'm just looking for tendencies that they have, whether if they shoot hands or not, or if they're a more patient DB, like they tend to use their feet more and shadow, follow where the receiver's going instead of jam with hand, quick jam, 2 hand, 1 hand, left hand, right hand, or if they're inside shade, outside shade, and certain coverages, stuff like that, just to kind of get myself an idea of what I'm going to do when they're in that and using that technique, and then just go from there.
Now, at Colorado State, do you guys ever have plays where it's like a kind of a choice route where you and the quarterback are basically reading the defense, and that's going to hopefully you're on the same page, and that's going to dictate the route you run? Or
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every playbook has that. I feel like, that's just a part of what the game is now, because the defense is always going to do one thing, and you can't just stick to one exact route. So you're kind of always going to have to play off the defense, and that's kind of like that counter attack. When they do something, you do the other thing, the opposite. So yeah, I would say yeah, but it's kind of football now, so it's everywhere.
and I would guess you being in the slot, or they put you in motion, or they put Tori in motion. Like part of that's to get you in motion, but I feel like part of that's to see what the defense is doing, right? To kind of understand, like, hey, this is how they're playing this play, and this is what we need to do. So what do you feel is your main strength as a wide receiver?
I would say, I'm a pretty hard receiver to take down. I've shown some pretty good clips of me, breaking that first tackle and still running after. And I feel like just being able to do that is a good thing. Once I get the ball in my hands, it's kind of hard to bring me down, and I can fight for those extra yards.
What is something that maybe you've been working on the most this offseason to improve your game?
One thing is just really, working on that top end speed, being a faster receiver and just making consistency, that's the name of the game right now, and availability. So as long as you're available and consistent, that's what's going to get you, paid and get you able to play for a long time.
What are your goals for 2024 and moving forward? They can be both team and personal goals.
I mean, honestly, personal goals are cool and all, but I guess the team comes first. So, I want to win always, but Mountain West Championship is the goal. And hopefully if we know we're in the Mountain West Championship, that means we're good enough to be in the playoffs. And I feel like if we do that, then the personal goals will also come along with it. So I kind of put the team goals first and then personal on the back end. But I feel like if I do good, then that means the team's doing good. So then we're all on the right track.
Now, obviously, we hope to see you playing on Sundays. That's like the ultimate goal. But let's assume that doesn't happen. Do you have something in mind like that you want to do when you graduate?
Honestly, I've been thinking about it. Like I've always been around sports, so like just being able to talk about sports would be cool, like broadcasting or just like on ESPN and stuff like that. That's always been a cool dream of mine. And I like analyzing receivers and stuff like that. So maybe just scouting for whatever, do anything like that. I feel like now I'm at the point where I could tell when receiver is good, or maybe even being a receiver coach, because I feel like now helping the younger guys out, I've been trying to help them out, and it's some of the stuff I tell them has been working. So stuff like that, just staying in sports.
After your NFL Hall of Fame career and you become a big time sportscaster for ESPN, don't forget about the guys in the G5, man. I feel
Yeah,
like
of course.
the media, the national media anyway, just doesn't give the G5 the credit it deserves. It's
Right.
all about the Power Four, and in particular the SEC and the Big Ten.
Yeah.
But I think you guys will go out and show Texas here soon that the G5 can play as well. As I mentioned in the intro, beat reporter Kevin Lytle from the Coloradoan told us you were his breakout player for 2024 for the Rams, but we wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of shout out some of your teammates. So who are some of the guys that we need to know for the Rams going into the 2024 season?
Okay, so there's a lot. First off, I just want to start on offense. There's some young guys who have really had a good spring, good offseason. It is Jamari Person, Caleb Goody, Justin Marshall. And, those guys there, they've been working hard, young guys coming up. So, big senior class. And once we're gone, they'll step into that light. And then on defense, I feel like Dylan Phelps he's made a big jump from spring ball to now. I feel like once he gets in the game, he'll show what he can do and stuff like that. It's just, and then I feel like everybody else y'all know, like Henry, Jack, Chase, Boom, and Newer and all them. I feel like y'all know them. And then we got a transfer. His name is Isaiah Sissima. He came from Nevada. So I feel like he's going to be cool. But I mean, we're all I feel like just the team as a whole will be breakout. But those are a few names that came to mind.
If someone has not seen you play, what one game would you recommend for them to watch? And it can be college game or high school game, or you can pick one of both.
I mean, I would. Okay, so can I do this? Can I give you one at SMU and then one here?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with the Boise game because I had a pretty good game that game. That was a fun one too with the comeback and everything. So lets us know. And then I would probably say U of H at SMU. That was a good game for me too. So those two probably be the best just to show who I am as a player, I would say.
If you could replay a game, which game would you replay and why would you replay it?
Replay a game.
It could be high school, college, whatever.
That's a great question. I gotta think. I would say Hawaii last year. I feel like last year, if we would have beat that Hawaii team, go to a bowl game, give those seniors who've been at Colorado State for a long time a bowl game in their college career off on, and just think of those guys, and just end the year on a good foot, and then come into next year hot and ready.
What opposing defensive player was the toughest for you to go against, and why were they so tough?
Well, freshman year I went against Sauce Gardner, so
okay.
I'm gonna say him. But it's just that guy's a freak athlete. He's like 6'3", but people tell me I have long arms. Then I go and try and block him, and I'm pushed back by him. So that was something. He's a great player and played to the boundary, so he already knew his strength and stuff like that. So I'll probably say hardest, but that game there was crazy too. I think that was my first start as a freshman, so that was it was a game, but it wasn't a game for us. They kind of got the best of us, but he was probably the best one.
Was that the year that they made the playoffs?
Yeah, that was the year.
Gotcha. Is there a particular routine you have on game days or a song artist that you like to listen to before games?
I have an artist. I listen to NBA Youngboy. I listen to him pretty frequently. Him and Rod Wave. And then I kind of just try to just keep a level head, clear head. I may watch the players' highlights who I've been really on top of that week and just kind of see what last minute things I could take and add or just to throw in for the game. But other than that, I don't really do a lot this really for pregame. I'm just more a music guy.
It's really interesting to hear you talk about try to stay calm and collected before the game. And it seems like whenever we talk to offensive players, that's what they all say. And then defensive players are kind of the opposite, where they're just trying to get all jacked up and hyped up before the game.
Yeah, no, I feel like that is true.
What hobbies do you have outside of football? What do you like to do when you're not playing football?
I like to watch movies. I watch movies a lot. Really, I'm up for anything. I like to swim. I used to swim a lot when I was back at home, but really it's been movies. And then me and my roommates, we started playing Monopoly because that got very competitive. So now whenever someone else wins, we just want to play it again the next day because we don't want them to win again. So we've been doing that. So that's been fun. But I really say movies and TV shows like that.
What's your favorite movie or TV show?
So TV show would probably be Game of Thrones.
Oh,
And
that's a
then,
good one.
yeah, no, it's really good. And then I would say movies. I have a favorite director, like Christopher Nolan. I love all his movies from Interstellar to Tenet to the Dark Knight trilogy. All those have been great. Oppenheimer was good. I saw that when it came out. So all his movies have been good. I like Inception. I just like at the end of some of his movies, he kind of gives you like it's like an open-ended ending. It's like, well, is he dreaming at the end of Inception or not? Or Tenet it was like, who was he already knew something like, and then Interstellar was like the void and all that, and he was the ghost for his daughter and stuff like that.
Have you gotten a chance to watch the new season of House of Dragons?
Oh yeah, I finished all that. I'm all on top of it. I'm about to start reading the books actually.
I started reading the House of Dragons book. I haven't finished it yet, but what did you think about season 2? Did you like it? Was it a little bit disappointing or?
It was good. It had some good spots, but I feel like the ending was I feel like that last episode was all right. It could have ended the episode before with Rhaenyra with the dragons, but when Aemon turned around on Vhagar, but I feel like it's a good show and they're heading in the right direction. But it was just a good season, especially with the battle at Rook's West, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
for me. It just seemed like not a lot happened, right?
right. It's like
there's a lot of build up and not as much action as we're used to in a season.
Right, a lot of build up for the past 2 seasons.
I did enjoy when like the commoners, if you will, were able to become dragon riders. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Have you had a chance to play the new EA Sports college football game?
Yes, sir.
So PS5 or Xbox?
PS5, easy.
Assuming you do play, you're playing as Colorado State.
Oh yeah, I don't play as anyone else.
What have you liked the most about the game?
I liked all of it. What I've been playing a lot is the Dynasty, like just being able to make your own dynasty, be a head coach, because I like the recruiting aspect of it all, and still being able to play and get to the playoffs and stuff like that. Like I've played the Dynasty with my little cousin we've been playing for like a few weeks now, just haven't gotten off of that.
If you could change something about the game, what would that be?
I feel like they depend. Like, not saying that speed kills. I mean, it does, but like in this game, if you have like above a 94 speed and the quarterback's press, you could just check the receiver on a go and he'll just run right past him. It's easy touchdown.
Do you think they did you justice with your rating?
I would say in certain aspects, yes, because I feel like I have a lot to prove a little bit more, so I can still up my rating. But I think where they did me dirty was a little bit on the strength. I'm stronger than what it is, like a 79. I think I should be like an 83. And then 88 speed is cool, but I honestly, me personally, I think I'm 89 speed. I mean, not 89 speed, 90 speed.
What's your favorite offensive play call in the game?
It's the empty set. It's like empty set 3x2, and it's the all go. Outsides have goes 3x. The number 2 has a seam. Number 3 has a cross route, and then the number 2 on this side has like a kind of Z route, and then he cuts across, so he clears out and he's underneath. But usually, someone's always open down the deeps are always still deep.
Have you had a chance to play as yourself in the Road to Glory, or do you plan to?
Yeah, no, I've been playing as myself in Road to Glory. Road to Glory has been good. I mean, I thought it was going to be iffy because you didn't get to go to high school and stuff like that, but it's been fun, just still being able to have that journey as going on through a freshman and working your way up to the depth chart. So I think Road to Glory was good.
Now, did you make yourself a wide receiver or some other position?
So I made 2. I made a quarterback and a wide receiver. Quarterback was also extremely hard to play on Road to Glory. So that's kind of fun. I feel like it in the past, with the years before, it wasn't as hard. So,
what's your favorite meal? What's your favorite thing to eat?
I'm a big Jersey Mike's guy. I get the club sub.
Yeah.
I'll go there, get the club sub, and then I'll add oil and vinegar. I add light lettuce, pickles, and banana peppers, salt and pepper, and then I'll get blue Doritos on the side with a Gatorade, and that's probably one of the favorite things I eat.
I don't know, where you are, but in Fort Collins, but like around where I'm at, whenever you order a club sub, they always ask you, "Do you want it with or without bacon?" I always want to say, like,
Yeah,
why do you ask that? Like,
it always. Yeah, I was like, I try because when they build a sandwich, I feel like they forget. I'm like, don't forget there's bacon on that, right? And they're like,
so that's the whole point of a club. Otherwise, it'd be
yeah,
a ham and turkey sandwich.
right. Yeah, no, I feel like they always try to like just see. I feel like it's like a test to see if I'm paying attention.
Maybe that's what it is. I've never asked him, but I always want to ask him. Does anyone ever order a club and then tell you no bacon?
Right, because that would just be no.
If you could sit down and have a conversation with any three people of your choosing, dead or alive, who would you choose and why?
Number one would be Kobe Bryant, just because what he's known for, and like people always have that who's the GOAT, LeBron or Michael, and I always say Kobe just because for me that's I've always just liked Kobe Bryant. LeBron, he's a freak athlete, 6'8", does crazy things, and he's longevity. And then Michael Jordan, 40-inch vertical. I'm not saying that Kobe wasn't athletic or skilled, but he didn't have any of that, and he still found a way to get 5 rings, and he did it while staying on the same team. And people said that he was going to be nothing without Shaq, and 1, 2 more. So Kobe always gets the respect from me. Him and Steph Curry are my 2 favorite basketball players of all time. And then I would probably say Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther. Watching that movie in 2018 when it came out, I was in high school. Big impact for all the young Black kids around. So he played almost every important character in Black history. He played Thurgood Marshall. He played Jackie Robinson. So he's a big figure. I feel like just being able to talk to him. And I'm gonna say Denzel Washington. Every time I hear something about Denzel Washington, he's always giving some motivational speech or doing something good. So it's probably those three. Those three would be just something I feel like I could learn a lot about, figure out how to be a better person, and just figure out how to work harder and keep my head down and be humble.
Yeah, I would agree. I put Kobe over LeBron. MJ's while I was not a Chicago Bulls or an MJ fan at the time, I was more about the Magic and the Lakers. I'd put MJ number 1 and Kobe number 2. I don't know, for me, number 3 would be a tough choice between Magic and LeBron, but yeah, they're all great players.
Right.
If you had to tell an aspiring high school player what the hardest part of playing college football is, what would that be?
Basically just the transition of school, and now that you're getting into college football, it gets a lot more serious. You got to put a lot more into it, a lot more time, just extra hard work, and making sure you're taking care of your body. Because at the end of the day, if you can't play, then it's going to make it harder. And also just making sure your mental health is right, because it's been a big thing among sports recently, and it's certainly is true, because if that mind isn't right and you got mental blocks and stuff like that, you're not going to be able to play full speed.
You see a lot of kids enroll in January to kind of get that head start, or come take at least one class in the summer. Do you think that's an important thing for a freshman to kind of like get their bearings and get some classes under their belt before having to go full bore into the football?
Yeah, no, that's what I did. I came in January, and I feel like even though I missed out on, being a regular high school kid for that second semester of high school, it was probably one of the best decisions I made, because, well, for one, I got all my, how freshmen come in, some of you're either hot or you come in, you're still learning. So I got my little learning phase out of the way, and kind of just once season came and fall camp came, I was already used to it, used to being in school, used to the workouts. Like nothing surprised me. I was there. I remember when me and my teammate came in from high school, we watched the new guys come in the fall or like in the summer, and we're like, man, are they in for something? But I feel like if you can graduate early and you want to graduate early, definitely do it. It's a great investment.
All right, let's get you out on a fun question here. Coach Norvell comes in and says, "No need for pads today, boys. Grab your running shoes. We're doing laps." What position group does your mind immediately go to that caused it?
Ours, my position group? No, I'm just playing. Probably the tight ends, maybe. Honestly, I feel like no one really. I feel like if we're in trouble, it's a collective team mess up, not one position group. One position group doesn't just mess up a lot. It's just, I feel like it would just be a team collective. We all just messed up at one thing, and coach had enough of it, and just said, "Hey, we're just gonna do laps until y'all get it right as a team."
That's cool. I mean, that's I would tell you, like I bet you 90% of the folks we asked, the answer is always the DBs. We interviewed two DBs, and they both even said the DBs. So
Right.
I'm not sure what it is about the DBs, but yeah, that's cool. Well, Dylan, I just want to thank you again for taking some time out of your day to spend with us. We greatly appreciate it.
Oh no, thank you for having me. It was a great time. You asked great questions, so appreciate it.
Yeah, and good luck against the Horns.
All right, thank you.
If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you're listening in podcast form, please rate and review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Thank you all for your support. And until the next time, we are the G5 Hive.